Hey all, Paint Marine here with a, I guess this is a kind of an in the crosshairs video. I just want to take a better look and kind of get an idea, a little, I guess kind of a debate, and I don't know, it kind of is and isn't a debate, but the debate going around now is, are Eliminators better than taking a Vindicare Assassin? I hadn't really looked at the new Assassin rules yet. I've got the White Dwarf here, I kind of skimmed through them, but I just looked over the Vindicare Assassin again. And as it is right now, the Vindicare is a 5 power, and it's an elite. And I'd have to look at flip through to see the points cost. But we don't know the point cost of the Eliminators right now. We do know that they are a heavy unit, and that they are a power level 3. So right there, the Vindicare being one model with, let's see here, 5 wounds, so 1 less wound, it is sitting at 2 power level higher. So, I mean, you've got that. It's got a 6+ save, but then when you look in here, I think, where's it at? Yeah, I guess it doesn't have. I mean, if you're in cover, though, you're going to get a +1 to your save. So, at the very least, it'll have a 5+. But, like I said, you know, that's still, if you have something that has ignores cover or something like that, so 6+ save with 5 wounds. However, a lot of the special rules for it do make it pretty nice, as far as if these two are going toe-to-toe with no buffs, no anything like that. I think, really, though, to make the Eliminators kind of on par with some of the killing ability that the Vindicare has, it's going to be with either the Librarian nearby or with the Librarian and a Lieutenant nearby. And then again, that Librarian has to get the Psychic power off, mostly that Seer's Gaze one, which lets you reroll ones and ignore cover. Like, that makes their main weapon, or their main, well, I guess not main, but one of their choices, the Executioner round, which is a Strength 4 -2 D3, and wound rolls of 6 inflict 1 mortal wound. So that's right there already pretty, I mean, that's pretty good, plus it's a D3 on top of any potential mortal wounds that you have. So yeah, and then with if you throw a Lieutenant in there too, then they're re-rolling any missed wounds and stuff. So I think with some characters near them, the Eliminators definitely will excel as far as character killing. Now, toe-to-toe, I don't know, like, I feel like it's going to be kind of who goes first almost, just because especially, well, yeah, it really depends on who goes, yeah, I don't know, I keep going back and forth. It kind of depends on who goes first, because the Vindicare has a lot of rules that basically ignore things like cover, and then you can, like, keep re-rolling every time you make, like, the headshot one, where you continue to make mortal wounds on a 3+, then a 4+, then I guess on a 4+, then you keep rolling until, well, it says by 1 each time until the model is rolled. So you'll get up to a 6+ for a mortal wound, which is, you know, a 6. So you just keep rolling a 6, I guess, until the model being rolled for is slain or the roll is failed. To cause a mortal wound. Yeah, so when you get to that 6+, then, I mean, it's a lot harder to keep those mortal wounds rolling, but still possible. And then it says enemy models do not gain bonus to their saving throws for being in cover against models with a range attack with the Spy Mask rule. So no cover, no 2+ cover against this one for the Eliminators. And then you also have to subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with ranged weapons against this model. If this model isn't a terrain feature, then it's a minus, or subtract 2. So these guys would be most likely hitting on a -2 against the Vindicare. And then the model pretty much always is hitting on a 2+, because it has flawless aim, so if it remains stationary, it hits on a 2+. But then it also has a rule with the rifle that if it's if the weapon wounds infantry, oh, sorry, I guess that's different. So it's pretty much always going to be hitting on a 2, because most likely people are not going to be moving around with this guy too much. And then on the rifle, it always wounds infantry on a 2+, so it's going to be hitting on a 2+, wounding on a 2+. So I mean, there's that as well. So the strength 5, -3 and D3. So 6-up saves and D3 damage can delete these guys pretty quickly. Although it's one shot, so again, I guess it's not too bad because, like I said, you're putting all your damage. I mean, you could definitely most likely kill one with that shot. And then after the model has been made, roll a d6 if a model suffered damage that has not been slain. So that's where, unless you only do 1 damage, you're only going to be able to really kill one, because the damage doesn't go over, and it's only 1 shot. So I mean, looking at this now, I'm actually thinking the Vindicare might have a hard time because it can only kill one of these guys for sure at a time, because it's only got 1 shot with the -3 and D3 damage, and then the headshot rule is just going to be if you roll a 1 or a 2 for that damage, then you're going to most likely kill that model. So I think that's a misconception. I read someone had mentioned that they can keep rolling and then you can kill off the whole unit, but that's only against the model according to this headshot rule. So really, you're only going to be able to super kill 1 model. So again, the Vindicare is definitely a character killer more than it is a unit killer, which is kind of the same thing that the Eliminators are. They are a character killing unit, not so much like a unit killing unit. Some people have been throwing out I keep wanting to say Hyperfang. Hyperfrag round is kind of useless, but I look at it, the heavy D3, and it's a frag round, meaning it's not inferior to the frag grenade, like many are saying that the frag grenade is better, because frag grenade is D6, so you're mostly getting, at best, you're hitting 6 models. This is heavy D3, so at best, you're hitting 9 models. And so I think this is like better and mostly used to kind of help protect a little bit in an Overwatch situation. You're going to put in those hyper frag rounds, get your D3 shots, and then hope for some 6s. So I think that's where we get the use out of those. And then the only other thing is if you really don't have any good targets, you can maybe pump some of those hyper frag rounds into a big blob of guys with some low toughness to try to, maybe whittle them down a little bit before they get closer and in that charge range to this unit. But I want to kind of get these out. Now I got these were my counts as scout snipers that I converted with my Primaris, and then I also kind of use them as counts as the Stalker bolt rifles, and that they're like intercessors essentially with the heavy or the Stalker bolt rifles. But I like the idea of having kind of a Primaris scout squad that I could throw in my list, because I try to keep my whole army Primaris. And now with the new Eliminators, I basically have my snipers for my Primaris in official rules and lore, so this is no longer just counts as scouts. I can use them as Eliminators. I definitely will be getting the new box set, but it's kind of funny and nice that I already have some kind of stand-in models in the meantime. And I don't have a Vindicare, so I just grabbed one of my Kill Team Van Sart Elysian ODST kit bash together guys, and this will just be as my counts as Vindicare for purposes of this. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick kind of like toe-to-toe who would win type of situation scenario here. And yeah, we'll go from there and kind of see what happens. And then after that, I want to potentially, I'm not familiar a lot with Astra Militarum. I'm not sure what orders or if orders can be given at all to a Vindicare Assassin. But I definitely want to throw in a librarian for a round and see what it would have, like how things go if the librarian buffs the Eliminators, and then also again throw in a lieutenant with the librarian and see how that goes. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. So all right, let me kind of get things kind of set up. It's nothing too crazy. I'm just going to kind of go head to head with these two guys, and we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to this interesting matchup, this scenario. Now, I'm just kind of using the kill team board real quick and some terrain that I really need to get painted, but for the purpose of this, I think it'll be alright for now. So, over here, I put the Vindicare, Assassin up in the building, so we're getting him some cover, and he's in a building up here. And then across the street here, in the window here, you can see the Eliminators are. I'm gonna excuse the shadows. I don't have the best lighting right now in here, so but yeah, I put them up here, so they are ready to go and kind of slug it back and forth here. Now, measuring the buildings here, and let me get my tape measure. Now, range won't be a big factor as both have range. The Eliminators are 36-inch range, and then the Vindicare is 72-inch range. But as you can kind of see here, both of the buildings are 12 inches away, so both units are just over 12 inches away, which would almost matter because I play Raven Guard, so that would be a -1 to hit normally, but as we know with, I think it's the flawless aim rule for the Vindicare says that this model remains stationary. In the movement phase, it always hits on a 2+ when firing a ranged weapon, regardless of modifiers. Hit rolls are still requiring a 6. So, normally it would be a -1 to hit, but because of the flawless aim rule, it does not matter. Alright, so we're going to do this first. So I'm going to roll to see who gets to go first. First we'll roll for the Vindicare. So we got a 3. And then next I'm going to roll for the Eliminators, and they got a 2. So Vindicare gets to go first in this little scenario here. Yeah, so Vindicare firing first across the way. Now, again, like I said, we are ignoring cover, I believe, right? For Spy Mask. Enemy models do not gain bonus to their saving throws for being in cover. Attacks made with ranged weapons by this model. Alright, so I'm going to put a little dice here because we're going to try to see how many turns is this going to take. So we're on turn 1 right now. Alright, so 1 shot. He only gets 1 shot with this thing. Heavy one, strength 5 -3. Doesn't matter for the modifiers or the strength or anything because it's going to be a 2 to hit and a 2 to wound. Alright, so. Alright, we hit. And we wound. Now it's a -3, so I've got to get the 6 up to save. And do not save, got a 4. Now this is doing D3 damage. And we got 2. So that kills 1. So that is one guy dead, 1 guy down. Okay, and that's it. That's all the shooting you can do. Now, moving on to the Eliminators. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the executioner around and kind of hope for the best. I'm going to get max damage on this guy. Now, let's see here. I'm going to be subtracting 1 from hit rolls with ranged weapons. If this model is on her, so I'm subtracting 2. So, I'm actually going to need 5s to hit. So, 5s. I got 1 hit on the 6. Alright, and he is strength 4, and this is he's toughness 4, and this is strength 4. So I'm going to need a 4 to do any actual damage here, and nothing. Got a 2. So far toe-to-toe is not looking good, because we're most likely gonna get knocked out here this next turn. So we got, well, not next, this it's gonna take 3 rounds of shooting, it looks like, and if the Eliminators keep whiffing like that, they're not gonna be around for much longer. Alright, so 2s, got a 6. Now does that do something for this guy? Vulnerable saves cannot be taken against this. And this model, dead shot. Alright, each time an unmodified wound roll of 6 is made for an attack with a ranged weapon, the damage is D6. Okay, so that was our hit roll, I believe. So now we got our wound roll is also a 6. So now this is pretty much going to kill. I mean, I don't really need to roll for this. The damage is D6, so it's going to kill one. Well, I guess it does matter, because I guess I could roll a 1 or I guess if I roll a 1, so I don't, a 4. So kills another one. Alright, that's another one down. So we got 2 down, 1 left. Sergeant's left on his own. Going for the shot. He needs a 5. Gets a 5. Alright, needing a 4. Gets a 1. Alright, well, this is where it ends. We are on turn 3. And hits 6, so that wounds, so don't roll a 1 and he's gone. And a 3, that's gone. Alright, well, as we see, took 3 rounds though of toe-to-toe shooting to take out this unit. Like I said, because you're only taking 1 model out a turn. So, I mean, that's a lot of other stuff. Obviously, these aren't full armies, so if a lot of other stuff is there to shoot, then we could have an issue. So now, I'm going to kind of reset real quick, and I want to go with the Eliminators get to shoot first this time, with no modifications or otherwise. So, let's see what happens. So, we're going to need 5s. Alright, we only got 1. And needing a 4. And nothing. Alright, looks like we might be a repeat of last time. Alright, Vindicare, 2, 2, and 1. Alright, so it's done 1 damage. Oh, I forgot to do my save. Let's see if I saved it. No, okay. No save. Alright, so we've done 1 damage. Now this is where that actual rule comes in with the headshot. So on a 3+, that model suffers a mortal wound. And it does, and then it's dead because it just says, after the model has made an attack with a ranged weapon, roll a d6. If model suffered damage from that attack has not been slain, on a 3+, that model suffers a mortal wound. And if that model is not slain, then you can roll 1 more d6. This time that model suffers 1 mortal wound on a 4+. Keep rolling 1 d6, increasing the result required to cause a mortal wound by 1 each time until the model being rolled for is slain or the roll is failed. Alright, so following that, that's another one down. Okay, so now Eliminators, 2 shots, needing 5s. Got 1. Needing 4s. We got a 4. Alright, so it's a -2, but it's already got a 6-up save in cover. So do we get to add anything for being in cover other than 1? Does not look like it, so it's going to be a 5, but then with the -2, we're going to be back to 6. Alright, so we need a 6-up armor. Does not make it. And now we're looking at D3 damage for 3 right there. So now we are down to 2 wounds. I'll put that there. 2 wounds left on the Vindicare, and we have 2 Eliminators left. So Vindicare is firing. Oh, oops, this is our turn. Yeah, this is bottom of 2. Vindicare got a 1. So, that is a miss. There is nothing that says that they get to re-roll wounds. So the Vindicare missed. So now, we are on top of 3. And the 2 Eliminators needing 5. We got 1 5. And needing a 4. No 4. Vindicare firing. Got a 6. Got another 6. Alright, so now I have a 6-up save to make. Nope. So that's D6 damage. Got a 1. So again, we got to roll to see if it keeps going. Yes, it kills it, and that is the end of another Eliminator. Okay, so now we are on, what, 4? Turn 4. 1 Eliminator left, firing. Does not hit on a 4. Vindicare hits. does not wound. Alright, now we're on to turn 5. Eliminator does not hit. Vindicare hits. Wounds. 6 up. Makes it. Alright, turn 6. Let's see this. Oh, does not hit. Vindicare does not hit. Oh, man. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go into turn 7. Let's see how many turns this is going to go back and forth. Alright, Eliminator hits. Let me double check that. That's a wound roll. I need a wound roll of 6 to do a mortal wound. So let's do that. Nope. So a 2 does not do what I needed. Vindicare hits. Vindicare does not wound. Okay, on to turn 8, which wouldn't be happening in a real game, but since we're just testing this out. Alright, so now we got it. 5, needing a 4, hoping for a 6. Nothing. Vindicare hits. Wounds. Do not save. And D3. So that kills the last one. So in that scenario where the Eliminators got to go first, we went 8 rounds before it went down, and the Vindicare got down to 2 wounds. Now, again, this is without other fire support, pumping shots into things. So definitely neither one of those units probably would have lasted, as other things would have shot at them as well. But so far, again, it all comes down to dice roll as well. As we can see, I kind of feel like both are actually not super overpowered against each other, because while the Vindicare has some pretty, kind of heavy shooting, it can only kill a model at a time, and it doesn't have a great save. But what helps it is all the things that cause it to hit so well, so it can consistently kill things, but then as well as the not getting, not suffering from modifiers for it to hit, and then as well as, I guess it doesn't really affect it too much, because the stealth suit thing kind of helps with being in terrain, but when you have, I guess, that -2, that kind of helped it get back to a 6-up save versus no save, right? Oh no, actually, I think I was wrong on that. It failed to save anyway. I was actually incorrect, because it put it at a 5+ save, but a 5, subtracting 2 from that, from the saving throws, I guess, I'm like all over the place right now. So that would have put it at a 7. So never mind. I guess he would have not gotten a save for that, even though it didn't matter anyway, because he failed it. But so I was incorrect there. So now I am going to buff up the Eliminators with the Librarian, and we'll see if that makes things any better. Alright, Librarian is going to be joining the squad here, attempting to get some psychic powers off. Now, I'm only going to be focused on the Seer's Gaze and not Shrouded, because, I will ignore the Shrouded one for right now, just because the Shrouded means that you cannot target this unit unless they are the closest models, and for all intents and purposes, they're going to be the closest, because I don't have anything else on the table right now, so it's kind of pointless, because I'm pretty sure the Vindicare cannot ignore that, because the only thing it says that he can ignore is this model can target characters even if it is not the closest enemy unit. It doesn't say anything about it can target a unit, because it doesn't. That psychic power does not give the unit the character keyword. It just says that they cannot be targeted if they are not the closest. So at best, what Shrouded would do is mean that he'll have to target the Librarian, which I guess could be a strategy as well. But for this, I just want to test out the Seer's Gaze and kind of see how that goes, and just see kind of back and forth how that is. Plus, with the Librarian, I'll probably would put him on the bottom floor out of line of sight in the Vindicare, so that way, again, I can, well, you know, I'm wondering, because I guess technically, I wonder how that, if the Librarian is not in line of sight but is the closest unit, and the Eliminators can't be targeted if they're not the closest, then the Vindicare can't target either one. That's my understanding. Please, please, please correct me if I am misunderstanding that, or if there's a FAQ or something, or a errata or something that I need to look at. But I'm actually going to play it. So I'm actually going to move the building here forward a little bit, so that way I can put the Librarian on the bottom. And, you know, like right here, there's a big spot. Like, you will not be able to see him if I place him right here on the other side of this wall. I'll put the Eliminators back up here in the top floor again, and just outside of 12. Well, not even outside of 12, just outside of the closest range here. I keep thinking the 12-inch thing because of, so I guess I didn't need to move the building at all, but, you know, for this I'm just going to, but I keep thinking 12 inches for the Raven Guard rule, which the Vindicare ignores anyway. So, back there now, if I can peek back here, kind of, sort of, not really, look like that. There's the Librarian, so, and I can kind of scoot this back a little bit more, I guess. And then we're going to reposition these guys back upstairs. And again, he said this, I could just have them on a flat surface and say they're all in cover and just roll dice, but you know, I like to, you know, thematically do this. So we'll reset everything. And here we go again. So, first things first, let's roll to see who gets first turn. Vindicare got a 3, and Eliminators got a 1. Vindicare again. So, alright, here we go. Turn 1. Vindicare, needing a 2, got a 2. Wound on a 2, got a 2. Or a 2, a 5. And, alright, so that was the save. No save. So we're doing how much damage? 3. That's going to kill 1. It's D3, so it did 2 damage. So, and he's down. Okay. Eliminators. So Psychic Phase would be first. So I want a Seer's Gaze on a 6+. Got it. And then we're going to go for the Shrouded as well, which is a 6+. And just got it as well. So now, in the game, these guys will not be able to be targeted unless they are the closest unit. And then, actually, I meant to set this guy up a little bit further back because, for all intensive purposes, I don't want them to be, oops, kind of bumped the thing there. Don't want them to be the closest unit, so putting them back a little bit. So yeah, so for Shrouded, they cannot be targeted unless they are the closest unit, and then they are, with Seer's Gaze, they get to reroll 1s, as well as, what was the other part with Seer's Gaze? Reroll 1s, oh yes, and ignores cover. So, you know, we will go into that. So we've got 2 shots, hitting on 5s, rerolling 1s. Okay, so we got 1 shot, 1 hit. On a 4, we're wounding. We got a 6. So that is a mortal wound for a wound roll of 6. And then we got to do our damage. Now, these are -2, and it ignores cover. So either way, with cover, the Vindicare had no save, and now it definitely has no save. So far, we have 1 wound on the Vindicare, so down to 4. And now we are doing D3. Oops, off the table. D3 for 2 more. So down to 2 wounds on turn 1. Now, of course, for this right now, I'm not doing any command point rerolls or anything such as that because I could try to reroll a hit or whatever and increase things on both ends of the table. But for simplicities, we're just not doing command point rerolls. So, Vindicare, rolling. Oh, I forgot. Never mind. I gotta switch over. The Vindicare apparently, or as far as I know, cannot fire right now. The Eliminators are not the closest unit. Librarian is the closest unit, but out of line of sight. So even though it can target characters, it does not ignore cover. So therefore, cannot shoot. Therefore, its turn is done. Moving on to the Eliminators. We're going to our Psychic phase again. I'm going to go for the same things again. So Seer's Gaze goes off with Perils of the Warp, which I would resolve, but for this it doesn't exactly matter right now. And then Shrouded does not go off. Now I wish I was doing command point rerolls because I would definitely reroll to try to get that. But yeah, so I've got double ones, which I think you can perils on a double ones and a double six as well. So Psyker decided to really perils, but I got Seer's Gaze off, not Shrouded. So if the Eliminator survives, he can definitely shoot back. So we need some fives. Got nothing. So this is not looking good. This is starting to turn in favor of the Eliminator potentially. Okay. Alright, so that was the end of 2. Now we're looking at turn 3. The Eliminator, or sorry, the Vindicator, or Vindicare, hits. And it wounds on a 6, so that's D6. So I get a 6-up save first. Nothing. And anything but a 1. And 6 kills another 1. Okay. What am I doing? Only 1 dice. Alright, so 1, hitting on 5, rerolling 1s. Got a 2, misses. Alright, moving into turn 4 now. We have the Vindicare Assassin shooting. Hits on a 6. Wounds on a 2, needing a 6-up. Oh, got the 6-up. Alright, moving into the Eliminators. Psychic phase, Seer's Gaze goes off. Needing Shrouded. Goes off. Alright, so we're Seer's Gaze and Shrouded now. Alright, so firing, needing a 5-up. Nothing. Okay, so that is it then. So we're going on to turn 5. As we discussed before, Vindicare, again, if I'm missing something, but right now Vindicare cannot fire. So moving right into the Eliminator, needing a 5, gets a 5, needing a 4, gets a 3. Okay. Alright, so that was, I keep forgetting, so that was bottom, so now we're in the top of turn 6. Yeah, so I guess it continues on, huh? Because it would go until the next Psychic phase, right? I feel like I'm doing something out of order here. Eliminators went second. He got his whole thing off again. So yeah, so I guess again a second turn in a row now. The Vindicare cannot fire, so the Eliminator in here is gonna go ahead and fire. Alright, so 1 shot, hitting on a 5, off the table, hits on a 4, or missed on a 4. Okay, oh, I forgot, the Psychic phase, so I'm going to do Seer's Gaze, goes off, and then Shrouded goes off. Okay, so those go off, but still no effect, so we're going to go on to turn 7 and keep going and see what we can do here. So this isn't going too much better for the Space Marines. It does help that they are still on the board, but we were kind of the same situation before. We got to turn 8, 2 wounds and nothing, but we'll see here. So again, Vindicare, turn 7, cannot fire. So the Eliminator needing a 5, got a 5. Needing a 4, got a 6. So mortal wound, so down a wound, and then we're going to be most likely killing, oh, obviously killing, because D3 did 2 more wounds, there's no save. So finally, with some Librarian support, the Vindicare goes down. So, as you can see, I don't know, they're pretty toe-to-toe as far as like going against each other. The next thing I need to test out will probably be who can take characters down, and I think I I really think without the support of a librarian, and well, I don't know. I gotta rethink that, because I'm like, well, if they're shooting at a Vindicare, they're definitely gonna have a hard time with those hitting on 5s. But if they're hitting on 3s and with Seer's Gaze rolling on 1s, or even if there's a captain or something nearby, but again, those are relying on buffs. So I would say start off with just a character shot, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not. Well, you know what? Let me be right back. I'm gonna grab a lieutenant as well. Like I said, I could just say there's one on the board, but let's just grab a lieutenant, do this one more time, and see how it goes when they're re-rolling their wounds. Alright, now we got the Lieutenant Luxano, or as many people may know him, Lightyear, will be joining the squad to kind of give some wound roll rebuffs. Kind of rearrange the terrain real quick, just for fun, just to make it a little bit easier to see everything. But yeah, so let's start rolling and seeing how this whole buff thing is going to go. So we're going to go ahead and we'll put the Lieutenant down here, or I'm sorry, the Librarian. Lieutenant will again put over there, just kind of buffing everybody. So we want to make sure everybody's 6 inches and 18 for the Librarian psychic powers. And there we go. Again, I'm just going to put everybody up top. We're going to be just back, so that way the characters are technically closer, but out of line of sight. As you can see there, yeah, there's as far as where I'm going to be setting up the Vindicare up here, there is unfortunately no line of sight there for any characters for him. Alright, so again, we will start here with a roll off to see who gets to go first. We'll put our little turn counter there. Alright, so we'll do the Vindicare first on a 2, Eliminators on a 3. Eliminators get to go first into the Vindicare. Let's do our psychic phase before I forget. So Seer's Gaze doesn't go off. Shrouded goes off, so they cannot be targeted. Alright, so now hitting on 5s. Wow, okay. We got 3 hits. Wounded on 4s. Okay, so we got 2 wounds. Re-rolling, I forgot, I got the Lieutenant now. So re-rolling because of Lieutenant. Alright, so that's 2 mortal wounds because the 6s are mortal wounds. And then we've got 3d3. So let's drop this down real quick to a 4 for wounds left. And now I've got 3d3. And then we will go from there. Alright, so 3d3 for damage. Let's see what we can do here. Really, I just need 1 to be 2 and the rest can all be 1s and the guy's gone. Yeah. Okay, well, there we are. 1, 2, and 3, 4. That is it. Turn 1, Vindicare, dead. I didn't even get Seer's Gaze to reroll 1s, but I did get all of them. I had a really good roll, 6, 6, 5, and then re-rolled, and I got a 6, a 4, and a 1. The Lieutenant let me re-roll, and as we saw, I got another 6. So just like that, Vindicare goes down, and that is it. So, yeah, pretty quick. Again, a lot of that did kind of depend on, I mean, I had some really good hit rolls there, which was huge because needing 5s to hit is not the greatest, but you know, like I said, you know, the dice will decide sometimes. It's kind of luck of the draw. That is the game. But yeah, it's nice to see that kind of a buff. Now, that is kind of a lot to bring to buff these guys just to take out one character. However, this is definitely their optimum way of rolling, I feel, is a Librarian and a Lieutenant. Because if the Librarian can get that Seer's Gaze off, you don't need to worry about having a Captain because they're re-rolling 1s. But again, I don't know. It is a lot to put in, but now I'm going to grab both of them and we're going to take a look at just no buffs, one-on-one, which one can take a character down the best. So, alright, we will go do that and I will be right back. Okay, I've set up a little Sniper's Alley type of scenario here because I'm just going to test to see how long it takes for them to kill a Captain. So I just got myself just your standard captain, got an Iron Halo so he can get a 4-up invuln. 6 wounds, just the regular toughness of 4 against both of these two. So I'm going to take it in turns. We're going to start with the Vindicare, and we're going to see how many turns we can do here. Now, again, this obviously wouldn't necessarily be the optimal idea for the captain to be out in the open without other units and stuff, but again, they can select, both units can select characters to shoot at, so we're just going to go as if, there's nothing else in the way, and then most likely, I would say that he'd be in cover, but again, Vindicare ignores cover, and then if I get Seer's Gaze, but again, we're not doing buffs, but I could do the Mortis round to ignore cover. So, for all intents and purposes, and just for ease of this scenario, we're going to go out in the open or no cover, and let's see what happens. So, first up, we have the Vindicare shooting. Hits. Wounds. I have a 4-up save. Does not make it. D3 damage. Does 3 damage, already down 3 wounds. Now, because it's not slain and it has the headshot special rule, I basically got to roll and keep taking wounds off. So on a 3-up, there's a wound. So down to 2 wounds. And then on a 4-up, there's another wound. And then on a 5-up, oh wow, I just kept hitting him. So that is a captain down. Vindicare, 1 turn, one round of shooting, kills the captain. Alright, so now going into the Eliminators, into the captain. Alright, needing 3s. All 3 hit. Alright. Alright, I will be needing 4s to wound. Alright, so I got 2 3s and a 5. So we will not be able to kill the captain in 1 round of shooting. Alright, so now we have a 4-up save. Oh, that's cocked. It rolled a 1 again. So, goes through, and now we're doing D3 damage for 2. So down to 4 wounds. Alright, and then again, of course, this is if nothing else is shooting and lowering down that squad. Alright, so we missed 1, 2 hit. We need 4s to wound. I got 1. 1 is a 6 though, so that's a mortal wound, so it takes it down to 3. And then 4-up save makes the 4-up save. So I did 1 mortal wound. And then turn 3. 3 shots. Alright, 2 miss. Needing a 4. Misses. Wow. So you can see without buffs, these guys need the buffs. I think with buffs, they could probably knock him out turn 1 like the Vindicare, but without those buffs, they are struggling. Alright, so 3s. Got all 3. And 4s. Nothing. So that's where a lieutenant would be nice, but we don't have a lieutenant. Alright, turn 5. Okay, so all hit. That'd be a nice looking wound roll because those. Alright, only 1 wound. He's got a 4-up save. Yep, got it. So here we are, turn 6. We're still struggling to take this captain down with no buffs. Only 1 hit that time. There's a wound. 4-up. Does not. D3, 4, 2. He's down to 1 wound now at the turn 6 round of shooting. Alright, we are on to round 7 of shooting. Let's see here. Alright, another 3 shots. Oops, hitting on 3s. We got 2 hits. Needing 4s. Oh, there's a mortal wound already. So, mortal wound would take him down, and then he would have 1 extra to save, but potentially wouldn't matter. Well, not potentially, doesn't matter because the mortal wound would take him down. So, 7 rounds of shooting with no character buffs to take him down. I'm going to go ahead and reset though, and we are going to say that we have buffs. We're going to just assume that we had a successful round of Psychic Phase and see how that goes for the Seer's Gaze, and then after that we'll try it with Seer's Gaze and a Lieutenant. Alright, so Seer's Gaze, we fire, hit all 3, and 4s we make 2 wounds, no mortal wounds, and 4 ups. Fails 1 and saves 1, so now we got D3. Wow, I went way over there, but a 5, so did 3 right off the bat. Alright, so down to 3 wounds on the captain for 1 round of shooting. Round 2, Seer's Gaze goes off. Rolling. Alright, we missed 1, hit 1, and re-roll. So we hit 2, needing 4s. Got 2 6s. So right there's 2 mortal wounds, bringing it down, bringing the captain down to 1, and captain gets 4 up saves, fails both. That was a 3 and a 2, so fails both, and then again, so D3 damage. We got 3 and 2. So that time with just Seer's Gaze took 2 rounds of shooting to take the captain down. And resetting one last time. Let's see how we can do with Librarian and a Lieutenant nearby. So Seer's Gaze goes off, and now we are missing that one, hitting those 2, wounding on 4s. Got 1 mortal wound and a 1, so re-rolling. But yeah, so failed. So at 6 does a mortal wound. Alright, so we're down to 5. Okay, and then we have a 6 up save, or a 4 up save rather, for the captain. He makes it. So no D3 damage. Alright, so going into turn 2. Seer's Gaze goes. Hits everything. I really like these 6s for my wounds, but we'll take it, I guess. Okay, and wow. Alright, so failed. Get to reroll these 1s for the Lieutenant. Wow, double 1s again. See, this is where, like, you can do all the buffs and everything you want, but really it kind of comes down to just the randomized dice rolling. But that brings us to turn 3 then, and he's still up. So this is with the extra buff, he's lasting longer now. So again, it's just kind of dependent on dice rolls. 2 misses, not once, can't reroll, a 6, and a 5, so it's a wound. So a 4 up, he saves it, does not save it. And now D3 for 2. So down to 3. Alright, turn 4. So as you can see, like, we're not doing any better or worse, really. It's just coming down to the dice here. So we hit all of them. Wound 1, miss 1, and re-roll the 1. Okay, still nothing. Alright, and 4 up save, fails it, and D3 damage for 2. Alright, down to 1 wound, turn 5. Here we go again. Alright, they all hit. And wow, okay, well, he's gone now. See, this is where the dice can really change. So, 2 mortal wounds, no wound. So already he's gone, and then he would have to make 2 invulns and then potentially some D3. But like I said, right there, gone. So 5 turns that time with the Lieutenant buff. So a huge difference, little difference, some difference for sure. Obviously, I think in the end it comes down to the dice. I think as what we've seen here, Vindicare definitely excels at killing characters. But going toe-to-toe with the Eliminators, I don't think it's any better or worse. I just think it's better suited for killing characters. But again, both of them are designed to be character killers. The Vindicare gets it done better. But the Eliminators are filling a role if you want to have a pure Space Marine or a pure Primaris army. Because obviously we have scout snipers for Space Marine, like the regular Space Marines, but if you're trying to go for that pure Primaris, you now have a sniper role that you can fill to target characters and such. And they don't do a horrible job. I think they will help, tink some wounds off, but I definitely can say that they are not necessarily as high of a threat as many people may think they are. I definitely think they will be annoying, and depending on points cost, if they're cheap enough, they're definitely a bring, because you want that little thing that can just kind of be annoying and just whittle away at characters here and there when they can, or they're going to have to dedicate a lot to take them out, because I haven't even attempted, or we haven't done that scenario where with Shrouded you can't hit them, and then again if they're Raven Guard, you're getting a -1 to hit them anyway. So there's that, plus unless you have something crazy that ignores cover, they're getting a 2+ to their saves while in cover because of camo cloaks and everything. So I think they have some good survivability. As far as threat level, I feel like it's kind of medium. I wouldn't say it's high. I wouldn't necessarily say it's low, because if they get some good rolling happening and they have characters around them to buff, then that puts them definitely in the medium range. I still don't think it pops them up into heavy or into the high threat range, just again because it comes down to the dice roll, and unless you're just rolling hot like one round, you're not going to roll hot every time. So therefore, them consistently being able to do that every turn drops them, in my eyes, down to a medium threat versus a high threat, to the point where they're just going to be more annoying than anything, and hopefully be a distraction unit for your enemy to have to focus a lot of firepower. So I think that how I'm going to definitely use them is, one, to try to kill characters if I can, but for the most part be a distraction unit, drop them somewhere. Hopefully they survive to take up a round or two of shooting, and while all that firepower is getting pumped into them, the rest of my army is swinging around and focusing on the enemy. So, all right, well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a little different than what I've done before. I just kind of I guess a mini what would happen, or a battle report, if you will. I'm definitely trying to try out some new things. Definitely let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this kind of analysis, kind of talk through of what can they or can't they do, which is better, and give me your opinions. What do you think is better? Do you think the Eliminators are better because of XYZ, or the Vindicare because of XYZ? And let me know in the comments below. So thanks again for watching. Check out the Facebook page. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I appreciate it all. Until next time.